Over the start of this spring semester, reading things like Yuval Harari's 21 Lessons for the 21st Century and Thomas Joiner's essay Mindfulness have really caused me to reflect on what it means to be human and my own personal humanness. Reflecting on Harari's book caused me to think deeply about my own personal reliance on technology and if I am allowing it to control my life. How is it affecting my opinion of myself? The first plenary lecture was hugely about the self and how it is defined according to the prospects of Buddhism, developmental psychology, and philosophy. The Buddhist perspective on the self is what really stuck out to me. This ideology focused on the self actually being a very selfless aspect of human beings. The self is what connects us to one another, according to the Buddhists, rather than what we think of ourselves personally. A practice that they regularly use to stay in connection with the self in this community is meditation and mindfulness. Joiner writes about the fact that human beings have a tendency to take this mindful practice and skew it to be a very self-centered, playing to the human tendency of selfishness. This initial lecture caused me to consider my own selfishness and if/how I succumb to this human tendency. Going back to Harari's writing, I concluded that my partial dependence on technology has influenced my own selfishness. We are trained to find our happiness from how many likes we get on a photo or how many messages appear on our screens, and it causes a self-absorbed attitude that varies greatly from the ideals that were taught in this first lecture. The second lecture shown to us by the Honors College was one about the human body and disabilities. Considering humanness in regards to disability gave me a whole new perspective of what the term means. Society for the longest time considered those with disabilities to be less of a human or damaged. Similarly, in Susan Sontag's The Way We Live Now, it is demonstrated how society viewed a man with AIDS. People are so quick to judge based on an illness or an ailment and fail to consider the impacts it may have on these people. Their differences don't make them any less human, and that is what the lecturer was trying to explain. Through her presentation, the main focus was on the human experience of those with disabilities and the challenges they face due to these social judgments. The lecture caused us to consider what it truly means to be human and question if our humanness is defined by our physical or mental capabilities. I don't believe this is true. Humanness is so much more than the functionality of our legs or the strength of our immune system, and being able to reflect on my own personal definition of humanness through these readings and lectures has been an incredible experience.